And this is our once a week huddle, our gathering to kind of get on track for the week. So we hold it every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Shelley moderates the panel. I'm on it. Perry's on it as well. But I'm going to pass it to Shelley real quick just to talk about exactly what it is and why we're doing it. So go ahead.
Well, the PowerUp call that we've started back in November has really grown and evolved, and the intention is for us to be accountable to each other so that we can be a little more proactive as opposed to reactive. We're all used to the loans that were falling off the trees during the refi boom, and we might have got out of the habit of actually doing the work and doing the hustle. And as Renee said today, if we don't make the calls, we don't take the apps, the loans aren't falling off the trees anymore. So this PowerUp call is just really to offer a space of collaboration and holding each other accountable to doing the work.
Yeah, and the reason why Mark and Tracy and Elva on the panel is they've been the most active on the calls. One of the things that we introduced on the call was what we're calling the C2 activity tracker. So if you're in a situation where you're like, I know I need to be making calls or emails or annual mortgage check-ins, but I just need some sort of checklist, we've got it. It's an online form you can use. And I'm going to jump to Tracy real quick because she kind of was the first out of the gate to really adopt it. So maybe you can talk about it real quick.
Yeah, so I think for me, having the activity tracker has just been really amazing. Just like Shelley said, being proactive instead of reactive. I've always tracked things, but it's really like, okay, the night before I'm going to look and see what needs to be done for certain clients, things like that. This is very big overview, writing down all the things that I want to accomplish that will move the needle for me, and just really focusing on it so I don't have to think about what I need to do. It's there in front of me. I know what I need to do. I took the time to decide, and we've modified the tracker. I've added in personal goals, water, exercise, things like that, and just kind of made it my own. And it's been very helpful to have it directly in front of me every day.
Yeah, I remember one of the things Tracy did on the activity tracker was we just kind of had, number of calls each day, number of emails, number of texts, things like that. But Tracy went in and put check boxes. So it was just easy, quick, check, 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 did my activities for the day. And I think, one of the things everybody's focused on is production. But of course, if the activity is not there, most likely the production is not going to be there. So that's why we kind of flipped everything around and really started focusing on more activity. And a couple of the activities are doing a weekly video. Obviously, we live now in a world of video. Everybody wants a video. No one really wants to read. So I'm going to give the mic to Elva because Elva really embraced the video, and you could probably Google Elva Warmly C2 and see all her videos on YouTube. But why don't you talk about some of the videos you've done and how you got started?
Sure, thank you. I think our first PowerUp, Shelley challenged us to do a video about supplemental property taxes. And so I used ChatGPT to help me out. And I came up with the script that I was going to do. But I also invested in some equipment that would help me. It wasn't very expensive. I bought a tripod, and initially I had just a little light that was attached to the tripod and a microphone, because I was reading and watching videos about how to make good videos, and they say that the audio and the lighting is really the most important. Even if you stumble through the video, if you have good lighting and good audio, it can really help. So I got that equipment. I ordered it from Amazon. It was really, I think altogether it was no more than $100. And so I made the supplement. I was making videos before, but I became really intentional as a result of the PowerUp group that we're in. So my first video, I did a supplemental property tax video, and because that was what Shelley challenged us to do. And it was kind of interesting because different people did them. Not everyone, but a few people did them. And we all had a different take on it. So it was nice to be able to share what we've done. And then one other video that I really had fun making was the Valentine's Day video. You have to check it out. Go on YouTube. So go to YouTube because I need more views on YouTube. Just Google my name and go to YouTube and check out my Valentine's Day video. But I have done so I've committed and I've been consistent since I've been in PowerUp that I'm going to do 3 videos a week. And I knew that I was going to be here, so I recorded 6. I came in from Baltimore, so I did 6 videos so that I wouldn't have to worry when I'm here because I'm posting them Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I did all
Nice.
6 on a Sunday night, and I said, okay, good, I got all my videos done. So, but what I get out of the group is I love that Shelley gives us things, that you want to try to do. And sometimes I don't necessarily do the videos that she has because I already have something in mind. But yeah, so check me out.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah. We're making suggestions on the PowerUp call, but these are only suggestions if you don't have anything already in place. For example, another thing we do on the PowerUp call every week is we suggest just a new marketing idea. If you've got your own marketing idea and it's working, do that. But I'll transition over to Mark because an idea had come up on the PowerUp call about talking to and having relationships with big bank loan officers who can't do everything, and so they obviously have fallout. And what are they doing with the fallout? So Mark, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, realistically, it was Elva who kind of threw the idea out there of, oh, you know what, I really need to do this. And I think it was more she was saying it to have some accountability with the group. And that's one of the things I love about this is it's the whole collaborative effort and everything behind all this. But yeah, she basically said, hey, I got to reach out to my banks that I know and the loan officers within the banks and those sorts of things. And, she's talking about how she brings them cookies and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I know a couple of loan officers and banks, and I know a couple different people. And so the next day, Wednesday, I walked into the bank, one of the banks that I know, and I basically said, hey, I'm here, how you doing? And it was hugs and all this, and what have you been up to? And I'm asking how their kids are, what's going on, because I have an established relationship. But really, I walked out of that bank, the first bank that I walked into, because that day I walked into 2 different banks. But the first bank, I walked out with an invite to their Friday loan target where they get to go in there and tell what the bank products are and those sorts of things so that I could actually meet all the loan officers in that bank. And then I also walked away with the potential of that loan officer's loan in a couple months when some things finish up with her. And so I took that power and I walked into the next one and basically had pretty much the same reaction, except for that loan officer in that branch is now becoming a branch manager in another bank. And so she introduced me to the person who's kind of taken over there. And it's just from one idea that sparked from this PowerUp call, it basically jumped and got me into basically, I have 3 different banks that are talking to me about, well, can you do something for someone who has a DTI that's at 51%? What can you do for someone who has it? And it's like, yeah, I can do those.
Yeah. I think the PowerUp call can be so valuable. Obviously, you don't have to jump on every week. Not everyone is able to jump on every week. But I think twice a month is probably a good goal to have. And we've seen the numbers kind of double about every week in terms of who's participating on the call. I think it's a great way to kind of reset for the week. And we share activity trackers. So, everybody needs accountability. You don't have to, but, if there's no one holding you accountable, the likelihood of you getting to the goal is probably pretty low. And so we all kind of hold each other accountable and look at, well, I see your goal was to make 10 calls to, some past clients or past realtors. And, hey, looks like you didn't make it. But, that's what it's all about. And everybody's getting a little bit better every week. What would you say, Shelley, your favorite part of the PowerUp call is?
For sure, it's going to be the collaboration of others and holding each other accountable. I said on the call last week, I have call reluctancy. And I know that if I'm saying it out loud and exposing myself, that maybe somebody else will hold themselves to a higher standard and admit where they're struggling as well. So I think it's definitely the collaboration and accountability.
Same question, if anybody wants to jump in on that one.
Well, to add to, I think, so sharing struggles, I mean, when Shelley shared that she had struggles making those outbound calls, other people kicked in with some ideas. So I think just having someone, a sounding board, sharing your highs. I love hearing other people's highs, but also just the support when you are struggling with something. I think it's very helpful to be able to communicate with a group and not feel judged and be supported. So I see that as, for me, I love that.
Yeah. Same question. You don't have to jump in if you don't want to, but go ahead, Tracy.
I mean, for me, it is the whole collaborative effect and everything like that. I forget who it was, but we were talking on a call prior, and it was like, someone says, oh, yes, it's like the water cooler, but it's the water cooler without the drama.
Right.
So you get in there and you're talking about, well, I've got this going on, or I've got that going on, and, this is this. And, honestly, me coming from it as a new LO and being able to hear these different struggles and things like that, and I'm gleaning ideas. I mean, it's like whatever I can do, and I'm going to run with that idea. And then I think, I don't know who it was, but someone mentioned how it was like, well, I get ideas too, and I've been in this industry for I don't know how long.
Right.
So for me, it's just how much can I pull from it and keep moving forward.
Yeah, and troubleshooting loan scenarios too. I mean, if someone's, hey, this is my situation. You got such a brain trust of origination experience, not just on this panel, but if we've got 50 to 100 originators on the call, what would you do in this situation? And also, especially in harder years, like some people have been in the business, but they never really had a strong mentor. If you've been in the business, never really had a strong mentor, I think you're at a disadvantage. I would connect with somebody and ask them, would you mind mentoring me? Yeah, it might mean a commission split, because obviously they need to get paid for their time. But gosh, I would much rather do that and learn the right way, or learn some creative ways to structure loans, or submit things. And of course, other more experienced originators also may have relationships at higher levels within the lender that somebody newer may not have. All right, we've got just a couple of minutes here. How has it impacted your business in a material way, the PowerUp call? Could you say, like, has it
Yeah, I'll
concrete?
talk about that.
Yeah.
I had, there's a couple things since listening to Phil Treadwell speak to us at C2 back late November. He talked about setting SMART goals, and I stood up and I realized my goal just really wasn't set. And so I put that plan in action. I'm tracking the items that I need to. One of them was sending a weekly newsletter to realtors, and I really broke that down, and now it goes out, takes me about 10 minutes, but it took a lot of time to get there, but now it's like 10 minutes on Monday morning. I put it together and it's sent. Everything's ready for it. I get a lot of feedback from that. People writing me back saying how valuable it is, things like that. So that's something. Then Shelley mentioned, I should say, I had a VA loan come to me. One of my other goals was to teach at least one class a month, and so that's on my checklist. And I already have some future ones scheduled, but I just had one on Valentine's Day for VA. And as I was driving home from the VA class, a broker owner in town called me to rescue a deal that a bank couldn't do. And $1.9 million VA loan that's almost clear to close and going to close next week. So,
Fabulous. Anyone else want to take how it's concretely impacted your business? No? That's okay.
Well, I'll just say for me, just tracking, knowing where I stand. I kind of knew, but seeing it in black and white, I think is helping me do the activities that I need to do to generate the business. And I have more loans in my pipeline than what I thought I was going to have at this time. So I think it's that tracking and the accountability. I think those two together. And I just want to add, which doesn't have anything to do with that, but I work by myself. And so the other reason that I got on the PowerUp was because some of us are all just out there by ourselves.
Right.
And so once a week, it's like coming to a company, function, meeting, now you don't feel alone.
Right.
I like the independence of being independent, but I love the fact that now I feel like I have a real family,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's really just allowed me to do activities and focus on the things that are revenue generating versus just me staying busy and answering emails or kind
Right.
of getting the stuff done that I can do at midnight or whatever. So kind of putting the priority on that side of things and having other people come up with ideas for me.
Yeah, that's an important point. I mean, we can all kind of find things to do to fill the day. Oh, I got all these spam emails, I'll click through those first, and maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. But this is very concrete, and it helps you prioritize. Did you want to jump in?
Well, and Renee touched on it today too, when he said that we all know how to lose 100 pounds, or we all know how to make the applications come in, but being in this group really narrows it down to doing the work. We got to get back to the basics of just doing the work.
Right, right.
And the Slack page is really,
You want to jump in there?
yeah, so the Slack page we have for our group is really fun for me because the people that are posting their videos, I get to see different ideas for my own videos. So
Right.
I know Rob did a video last week on 203K, and I'm like, oh, that's a great video. And it just gives me ideas and fuels that creativity to see what other people are doing.
Right, and I mean, the purpose of this panel isn't to talk about videos, but we do talk about that a lot on the PowerUp call. I mean, we just have to realize, I think even Kyle was saying, I don't know, he looks like he's 25, but he's saying that even he's like, I don't know how to use TikTok, that kind of thing. But I mean, the next generation of buyers, it's kind of crazy, but if you don't have some of that, they may not even give you the time of day. So, and we focus on videos, we focus on marketing ideas, we focus on activity tracking, we focus on accountability, motivation. I mean, what would you tell someone who's not jumping on these weekly calls? I mean, would you strongly recommend it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, if I'm doing
that was
it,
the answer I was looking
then everybody should be doing it.
That's the answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's helped me out tremendously and everything like that. But also, one thing that I think we should mention is the fact that the PowerUp call is great, and getting there and watching the videos is great. But I actually glean a bunch of information from the chat because you get like someone's posting in there about, oh, this is what's going on with me, and then someone answers it really quickly, and it doesn't even really make it onto the video part. So it's like, yeah, turn the chat on too, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about within Teams, the chat
the
feature?
chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you click on open up the chat so you can see what everybody's typing.
Good. Any final thoughts before we wrap up? No? All good. Thank you guys so much. It was a great panel. I appreciate it.